Okay, here we go. Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I am here with my beautiful, beautiful team member, Danika, who is traveling around with her three beautiful children and her partner, Jay, living a life of freedom, empowering others to do the same. And I would love if you could share just a little bit about kind of where you guys were before you stumbled upon the business that we're a part of. And what was it about this particular business or path that inspired you to dive in and just go for it? And then how has it changed your life? Like, what kind of magic has it brought to you guys so
Mm,
far?
Thank you for those beautiful questions. And I'm just going to say that you let me know if anything shifts with my audio because it's very stormy here on the West Coast. It feels like we're
Okay,
in the middle of winter rather than bridging into summer. So we'll just pray to the tech gods that they stay with us
we'll
here.
go with it.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is beautiful though.
It is very lush and very beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah. So we came to this business really searching for a different way forward. We weren't necessarily searching for an online business. What we recognized as a family was that we were really rooted in this idea that we were going to do life differently, that we wanted to have time for each other, and that the way that our family was currently set up was just actually not serving us. So, a little backstory on us: I came to my relationship with my partner, Jay, with three kids. And this was about 3 years ago now. And we were really doing this dance of blending a family and blending the family in the edge moments of the day. So, for any of you that are mamas out there, you know that, of course, the witching hours before bedtime are not like prime bonding time necessarily. They're just sometimes like grit your teeth and hold on to your hat as you move through that like stage of the day. And so this was the time that we were trying to integrate our family, with Jay returning home from a long day at work, me feeling, really burnt out and spent as a full-time stay-at-home mama, and the kids really, of course, having some really big feelings about this stage that we were in. And so we knew really clearly that we wanted to place our time and energy into our family. Like, this was a very, very, very big piece for us. But it took actually reaching a crisis point, seriously, in our relationship, where we recognized that we couldn't sustain what we were doing and do it with the intention that we had in the form that we were currently living in. And so we were very close to actually parting ways and saying, like, this wasn't going to
Oh,
work. Yeah, it was a really
I know
tough
that
moment.
about you guys. Oh,
Mm. Yeah, I just started to share this part of our story more because I'm so grateful for that moment, really, because we were very much at a crossroads where the choice was to either release the idea of blending ourselves as a family or actually step into a different stage that didn't necessarily have all the boxes ticked already. It wasn't like it was being handed
mhm.
to us on a silver platter. We had to decide that we were going to prioritize each other and ourselves, and do it before we had a full on plan, so to speak. And so that's what we chose to do. We actually, Jay left his 9 to 5. We focused fully on our family. We, ran our life sort of off of some savings that I had come into the relationship with, and just really focused on the things that were important to us, which was our own personal development journey, supporting the kids in their transition and their big feelings, and being outside in nature. Those were our
I
core.
love that. So that's minus the partner because it's just Willow and I, but that's really similar to where I'm at right now. Like I had to just take the leap and like walk away from a corporate insurance job and just know that I had what it took. Like I believed in myself and my vision for the future so fully that I had nothing lined up. I had no idea how, when, what. I knew I was going to be a part of this business because I had joined previously after, I had to walk away for a little while and come back to it. But yeah, just having that faith and that belief that you can do it and you will do it no matter what, and just diving before you're ready. Like I had savings and I had credit, and that's all I'm living on right now,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
took that leap of faith. It's just it's so empowering to be able to do that and hold that belief within your guys's like family and yourself that this is what we want, this is where we're going, and no matter what, we're going to find the path to get us there, and we're doing it. So
Yeah.
congratulations to you. That is amazing to step into that.
To you too. Like, it is a really big thing. I love this quote of, I don't know it exactly, but you have to take a jump and then hope that your wings grow as you're sailing on down.
Oh,
And that
that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it is really a piece of the work, is doing the like inner work and tapping into the vision and then finding out, so what are those aligned steps to actually get to that vision place. And so for us, it was first of all stepping into the spaciousness and time for each other. And then of course it was okay, well, how are we going to sustain this? What are we going to do that's outside of the box, to actually sustain this as a family going forward? And so we got super creative. We tried all sorts of things. You know, we tried different work models, we tried different work schedules, we tried having our own home-based business. We were really in a kind of throw spaghetti at the wall, trying to figure out what could possibly land, what could stick.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And some people like are scared to try so many things and then walk away thinking that they failed. But the way that I see it is I'd rather try 100 things and find different pieces of each one of those things that I align with and that I want, and to know what doesn't work. Because each time you do that, I feel like you get closer and closer to what does work for you. So
Yeah.
I think it's,
Every no
I
is
don't know,
one
I
step
love it.
closer to a yes and to that piece
Yeah.
of clarity, right? Absolutely.
Hmm.
And so that was the point at which this online business model came into our sphere. And, you know, we were very much not online. I love to say that I thought Instagram was a dating app, and that is true. I really had
Might
no,
be now.
it might be now. It's true. It might be now. Who knows? Um, yeah, but I really didn't have a skill set or a desire really for the online space. But what happened is this business model came to us through word of mouth, through a friend, not actually through the online space at that point. And initially, I actually allowed it to kind of cross my vision and go. And
Mhm.
that was because I had a lot of resistance. I had a lot of resistance to this idea that we could be a nature family, we could be prioritizing ourselves and time together, and then somehow also be in the online space.
And
And
being paid for basically sharing all of that. Like that's
right,
just sharing your your life. Yeah,
yeah,
it's incredible.
it's incredible. And this piece around, you know, we call that piece personal branding, right? This piece of like
Yeah.
sharing who you are and what you value, and like what you are at your essence as the basis of your business. At that first point, I didn't fully comprehend that because it's so
It's really,
outside.
yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around, especially if you're not even like familiar with the online space.
Yeah.
Like for me, I was just like, but then I was also like, wait, what do I even have to share? I went through that whole phase too, but
Mm,
that is the beauty of it. It's a thing. It's proven it works, and it works well. I mean, you're proof of that. Your
absolutely.
journey and everything.
I love that piece that you shared too there about, you know, wondering if you actually had anything to share. And I find that many families that I speak to feel that, right? Especially, you know, this idea
Mhm.
of being in the motherhood slumber and of feeling like you're just kind of getting through the day or whatever. And people wonder, like, do I actually have something of value? And that's, I think, the paradigm shift that we get to do in this space is actually honoring that each and every one of us has something of value, even if that's, you know, we're in a stage that feels maybe less passionate, less glitzy, less adventurous, any of these things, that right where we are, right here and now, other people can connect to. And that by
Mhm.
staying in like our very authentic, true self and sharing that, whether it's just the quote unquote mundane of the daily life or it is something big and adventurous, that people resonate, people click when they feel that energy of truth, that authenticity, that just showing up as who you are, and then they get to come on a journey with you, which is
Mhm. Yeah,
an incredible piece, right?
it is. Yeah. I mean, that's where I started. I started like no
Mhm.
makeup in the my leggings and pajamas like all the time, hair in a mom bun. I literally just started wearing my earrings and mascara again like a couple weeks ago. And it was through all of this work and like that growth and that expansion that I like finally found myself and got comfortable in my own skin again. My daughter's 3, and I'm
Mhm.
just now like, and through doing all of this work, this is how I've like come back to myself. And just within the last couple weeks, it's just I have gone through that evolution, that mom slumber. I like really, really lost myself. So I love
Mhm.
that you spoke to that, because I actually just am like currently living through that evolution right now. It's crazy. And I started with thinking like, well, who am I? I wear leggings all day and love my pajamas, and
Yeah,
but
and
I
it's just
I did it
perfect,
anyways.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just perfect because it's meeting you. This business model is meeting you where you're at, and then you're meeting your audience exactly where you're at. And I mean, I've really felt that. We haven't met, of course, in person, but I've really felt that awakening inside of you too, in the way that you're showing up in the online
Oh,
space.
thank
And
you.
that
Yeah.
gets to be part of this journey, right? Is this, we always say it's like 80% inner work and 20% shop front. And that
Hmm.
awakening of like, whatever it is, whether it's out of a motherhood slumber or whether it's just awakening to, self-worth and to potential and to expansion and abundance and all of these different
And
things.
control and power over your own life. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And this was the big thing. So when we saw this business model the first time, all of those objections came up for me because I didn't understand how it could work. I didn't
Hmm.
understand how I could allow the online space to be something that fused with my values, right? This was a really big piece of this doesn't fit with the way I think about myself. And so it actually took it coming through a second time to recognize there was a really clear moment where I remember looking at some of the people that were in this community and seeing myself reflected in them, seeing so many people that shared values, that shared a particular lifestyle component, that were moms, all of these different ways that I felt connected to these various people in this space. And I really had an aha moment of like, well, if all of these people are people that I resonate with, and if they're doing it, then why can't I do it? Why
Yeah,
can't,
it helped expand by seeing the community. I feel like what you're saying is it helped to like, expand the openness of
yeah,
your mindset. You
yeah.
you kind of opened yourself up to being like, okay, well, maybe there is a way to be my individual, self within this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that was the thing that took us from a no to a maybe to a yes, was really actually seeing that reflection of ourselves in other people and then grasping this piece of allow it to come along with you on your journey and then allow it to become part of your journey, right? And this is these, it comes with you wherever you go, be that like location freedom or just through your daily life, and then it actually empowers you more into that life through the financial shifts that are going on, through the inner shifts that are going on, through the health transformations, all of this. And it becomes this beautiful fusion, right? Between your life and the business and your business and your life.
Yeah, it's very expansive, like to say the
Mhm.
least. When all of these pieces start coming together, I feel like it's amazing. Like I personally have not started to experience the financial freedom. I'm still working on building my team. But
Mhm.
through all of the mindset and the shifting and the stepping into my own and all of this, I have that location freedom because I made choices through that mindset and I have the freedom. Um, I used to have like a lot of restrictions on myself from my limiting beliefs and the way that I felt like I was supposed to do things in the job I thought I was supposed to have. But I was able to reframe and work through all of that with this like self-development inner work. And it's freed me completely. Like I have so much freedom and no guilt or shame or anything around it. And I live the free life because I've created the mentality and the space and the environment where that's not only okay, but I know that it's the right path for me. Like there's no like, oh, you're living on savings and credit. Like, oh, that's not, you shouldn't be doing that. That's bad. Like, oh, bad credit. Oh, I don't have any of that. I know that I'm working towards my future and my dreams. And I know that the financial freedom is coming very quick. Like I can feel it in my core. Like it's just
Mhm.
creeping in, you know. So it's really beautiful how the growth and expansion within ourselves like helps to grow and expand our environments. And I don't know, I'm loving it. Like
I love that.
I just feel so free and liberated through all of it.
Mm. And that's huge, right? To get to that place inside and then to allow it to start. Like, I love that you just spoke to this piece around, okay, I'm not financially free yet, but I feel it coming. And this is the thing, too, that we're not necessarily programmed to understand is this piece around like nonlinear growth in the financial space, too, right? So
Mhm.
we're aligned with a model that's proven to work and convert. There's tons and tons and tons of very powerful stories of the shifts that people have made in their financial story. And
Hundreds and like thousands even. I would, yeah,
yes,
I'm trying to think, but
absolutely.
yeah, thousands have
Thousands of stories. And
proven that this works.
yeah. Yeah, and it becomes a part of like being in your part of your story. And I just actually wrote a piece of content the other day that said something about, don't base your success on somebody's 20th chapter if you're on your first. And so you get to be right where you are right now, inspired by the people at their 20th chapter. Absolutely.
I
And
used to be so bad about that. I would compare myself to other people, and I just had the moment where I realized, like, oh my gosh, had I tried to force Facebook ads in the steps that I'm taking now 2 months ago, I wasn't in a position mentally or knowledge or just confidence and belief. Like, I wasn't there. I wasn't ready to, I didn't have that foundation to hold a team and mentor and inspire people while I was still doing my foundational work. So I've put into so much foundation right now that I have built that I've built the strength to bring it in. So I am to the point, I have a couple more things to do, and I'm just like, I'm to the point where I could carry that now. I'm ready. I'm totally equipped to hold and carry other people now. Had I tried to force it before I learned all these skills that I knew nothing about and had that foundation, I wouldn't have been able to show up in a way that I can now. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, because now I can hold and carry the people that I want to impact.
mm, I love that.
It
That
was,
actually, I have like tears in my eyes, like this
yeah,
idea
because I used
of
to
this
get so
strong
down, like,
foundation.
oh, they're so successful. What is wrong with me?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
absolutely. We're
no.
all exactly where we're meant to be. And this is all part of the journey. And laying that strong foundation in your business is what allows you to now let in the expansion, whether that's financial, whether that's, the people joining your team, whether that's more on the location freedom front, all the different ways that we get to expand and grow. They need that solid rooted foundation. And for some people,
Yeah.
that's right at the beginning, the foundation's there. And for others, it takes a certain amount of time to grow that foundation. And either way, it's absolutely exactly as it's meant to be, right? It's exactly where it's meant to be. And then we get that nonlinear growth from there, where suddenly we can just
Mhm.
take off from
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing watching you guys and your growth and expansion right now, because I feel like takeoff is going. You guys are good to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're in your expansive chapter, and it's incredible to watch you guys. Like, I'm so inspired every time in our group chat and everything. I'm so inspired by all of your guys' growth and everything you're doing within your group. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And for you
Thank
to even
you.
take time, like, take time out. I know you have so much going on in your life right now, but you were still willing to take time out and show up for me and support me in my journey with this interview series. And I'm so grateful. And that's the beauty of our community, is we're all here together to support and carry each other. And I love it. It's a type of family and like friendship support that I didn't know I needed. And it's been so strengthening for me through these chapters of like learning how to be a single mom and like finding myself again, and having that camaraderie, I guess, is just, it's changed a lot for me. And it wasn't something I was looking for. It wasn't something I knew I needed at all, but to have it, it's just like I never feel alone. I'm not on this journey alone in any way, ever, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's amazing to have all the support and to be able to watch and be inspired by everyone else. I really
Mm-hmm.
love it.
I love that you spoke to that because I very much feel that too. And I really resonate with this idea that I wasn't necessarily looking for it, but this idea that, I think a lot of us feel like we have to reinvent the wheel, that we have to do it on our own. That's very much like an entrepreneurial mindset too, right? You're going to push on your
Mhm.
own, you're going to find the way in your own, you're going to forge the path. And there's a time and place for that, absolutely. But to also like walk linked arms with other people. And like I'm so happy to be here right now. And I know it just circles around. We exchange energy, we exchange, support, and each of us has our seasons where we need more and less of it. And I love that the community holds each other in that way. Like you don't have to do this journey alone. You can do something
No.
totally differently and also be supported in community along the way.
Yeah, and not reinvent the wheel. I got stuck on that. So I started this business. Well, I guess I didn't even start. I purchased my 3 products about a year and a half ago, and I wasn't ready to fully show up with the business. I kind of like dove in and I checked out some of the trainings, and I like started to show up, but I was stuck in that mindset where, oh, well, they did it this way, but I'll do it this way. Like I was trying to, like, I had no idea what I was doing. and I was trying to reinvent the wheel, the proven wheel that works for thousands of people. I was trying to like
Mm-hmm.
make it my own and do it differently, which didn't work, obviously. And then I ended up having some life stuff come up and I had to walk away. And when I came back, I was like, what am I doing? It's all laid out step by step. I need to just follow the steps and quit trying to pretend like I'm going to do this on my own because I'm not. It's already mapped out and planned out for me. And the second I gave up that need to just do everything on my own by myself and I allowed the support and I allowed myself to just fall within the steps that were already there, it's been a very beautiful fluid process of growth and skill set building and just knowledge and creativity flowing and just I have been growing and expanding on a daily basis since I made the choice to walk away from my insurance job.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
every day I feel some form of growth and it's by releasing that need to reinvent the wheel. Like I was stuck
Yeah.
in it. Like, oh, I can do it. I can do it this way. I'll just do it this way.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love that though. Like we can both release the need to reinvent the wheel while also
mhm.
recognizing that the way that you show up in your business is very different from how I show up, is very different from
Yeah.
the next person. There's so much space for individuality and expression. And we also get to like have all of this support and all of these things that we get to lean on because there are people that have walked this path before us and they do
Hmm.
have a way that is really, really, really powerful to actually move through the steps of not only launching your business, but growing and expanding your business too. So it gets to be these
Yeah.
two things at the same time.
It is. It's amazing. And it's all just, and I'm such a visual person. Like that's what I really, really love about it is how it's all laid out. It's just self-paced videos step by step with like documents here and there when needed. But yeah, it really helps the way that I learn. I love it.
Mhm.
It's super expansive.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's
Anytime I have, go ahead, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
As anytime I have a question or like I'm just confused about something, I either ask in our group, the community group, and then, if it's I try first, I'll go in the back office and we can like search and just
Mhm.
any question you have, and there's videos everywhere about all these things you need to know. It's
Mhm.
really helpful.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so empowering to be so supported and to be able to also not have to go searching in a million different places, but to have everything, the platform that we're both using allows us to have all of that education in one place, which for a busy mom or for an adventurous spirit or whatever, however
Hmm.
you are, or maybe you are holding, a job or multiple jobs while also growing a freedom business, it allows you to just hone in on how can I get this information in as easy a way as possible and then implement it. And we get to learn and implement and shift and grow as we grow.
Hmm. Yep. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm
Mhm.
learning and implementing and building my foundation and going and just the growth is where it's all at. That's the beauty, and that's what you get to share. So that just made me think of like how people sometimes, and I felt this way, like I can't do that. I don't know anything about it. But that's the whole thing is I started not knowing anything about it, but I just showed up and I start learning and implementing, figuring it out, and then I learn some more and I keep moving forward, just
Mhm.
showing up for myself every single day and moving the needle forward. And the person I was 3 months ago is nowhere close to who I am right now. Like it's phenomenal and it feels great. It just consistently showing up and moving that needle forward and taking a step every single day to improve yourself, your situation, your business, whatever it is,
Mm,
that's the secret sauce right there.
exactly. I love it.
It is. So, do you want to share anything else about where this has kind of brought you guys as a family and where you are presently because of this business and this vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely. So, being in this business model was allowed us to take a very major step into location freedom. So, we actually moved our family
Mhm.
out of our house and into a camper so that we can move around, go on adventures, and really do the things that, really fill our cup. And we're currently building a really beautiful team, walking alongside a bunch of just incredible human beings. And this gets to be a fun piece too of not only mentoring people as they step into this space, but also learning alongside each other because, we're not super early in our business, but we are still relatively early in our journey. And so the learning that we have when we allow ourselves to grow alongside other people is huge. So we are mentoring and walking alongside a beautiful team right now. We're really leaning into the location freedom. We're continuing to trust the process, continuing to show up. And I'm calling myself the yes girl these days. So basically, if somebody offers me an opportunity to learn, grow, stretch, get insanely uncomfortable, I'm a yes.
Yeah, I love it. I've become so, and it doesn't make sense, but the saying that keeps coming up, I've become so comfortable getting uncomfortable. Like I
Mhm.
almost get ex like I do, not almost, I get excited when I have an opportunity to do something that makes me uncomfortable. I'm terrified. I'm scared, like
Mhm.
nervous, maybe shaking, but I'm so grateful to be in the place and the mindset where I'm like, okay, this terrifies the crap out of me. So
Yeah.
let's dive in and do it because guess what? The second I face that fear, it's not going to terrify me anymore. And I learned that the hard way. Like just diving in and doing something way before you're ready,
Mhm.
that's what catapults you into your growth. And that's every time, like this interview series, I wanted to do it for months. And then finally, when I stepped back into this business and I decided to go all in, I was like, I'm just going to schedule my first interview and I'm going to do it because then I can't back out.
Yep.
And I did it, and now it's super fun, and I'm like loving it. And I'm almost
Mhm.
I'm like a month and a half in now doing it, and it's just so fun, and I'm building like amazing connections with people. And I was terrified. I was terrified
Mhm.
to do lives, but lives that gets me that gives me the opportunity to like show up and like in my moments of like passion and excitement and like share that energy with people. And had I like stuck in my little fear bubble, I never would have gotten to share that with people. And I'm still even learning how to show up in times where I'm like nervous doing lives and
Mhm.
expressing that and sharing it with people. It's the fear is where all the growth comes from. I love it.
Absolutely. And the fear is also a permission slip to other people to lean into their fear as well, right? When we hide behind the like, I have to be perfectly ready, we're then actually giving the message to everyone else that they need to be perfectly ready as well. And if we can
Yeah.
actually shift that and be like, no, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to come off of something and wish you had done it a little bit differently. Like, all of that is part of the growth. And it just shows how human you are and how willing you are to stretch and grow and try. And then, of course, more growth comes from that. And we get quote unquote better the next time around and the next time and
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of motherhood. Like, when are we
Mm,
ever like 100%? Like, I was ready to decide that I wanted to be a mom,
mhm.
but I was nowhere near ready to be. It was terrifying, right? But I learned as I went. Every day got better. I learned something new. I learned to care for my daughter in a different way. And it's the same in business. Every day you learn something new, you get better, you move forward. And it's just a similar path. Like you're never ready to be a mom, but you just do it and you figure it out along the way.
You do. Yeah,
And you do
absolutely.
your best every single day. So, yeah. Well, thank you. I'm super grateful for you to come and do this. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap it up?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. This was wonderful. And it's been really nice to connect, and we're gonna see each other in Japan
In Japan.
super soon.
Yes, so excited.
It's amazing. I
I
guess
can't
I would
wait.
just end by an invitation to like all of your listeners. If you're curious, if you've been on the fence, if you know you want to do something different, but maybe like we've talked a lot about fear today, like a lot about not being ready, a lot about feeling
Yeah.
fearful, a lot about just growing as you go, then reach out to Michelle and let her know that you want to start, you want to do something differently, you don't quite know how, and allow yourself to walk aside somebody who is on that path. Like we
Yeah,
don't
and
have to be
I'll
ready.
be tagging you guys in this too. So if it's any of your listeners or followers or anything, the same goes for Danica. Just if you're on the fence or you're curious, the first step is learning, reaching out and having a conversation. We would both encourage you to make an educated decision and help you along the way. So if fear is coming up, it's okay. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can
Mhm.
work you through your fear and reach out to Danica. She'll share more about the business. She'll have those conversations and work through it with you. We're both more than willing and have the experience to help you try to reframe and reanalyze that fear and see where we can go from there. But I personally, and I Danica, probably the same. Highly encourage you to just start with the first step of educating yourself.
Yeah.
See what we saw and see if it lights a fire in you like it did for us. And like Danica said, she had it come across her point of view one time and it wasn't right. She had to open her mind to it. So there's no rush, there's no pressure. Just be open and see where it takes you and see how it feels. See, really feel into it and see what it does for you. But
Mhm.
yeah, so whoever you ended up following to get here, please reach out to that person, whether it's Danica or myself. And thank you so much for watching and listening and following along. I'm so grateful to you. And Danica, again, thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up for me on this. I'm super grateful.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you,
All right.
Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.